Hello and welcome to my YouTube video series on Microsoft SSIS package development. My name is John and we are going to go over a simple scenario in SSIS package. Today's SSIS scenario is about resuming the execution of a package from a failed point without cleaning up the previously completed steps and procedures. And cleaning up after a failed process not only could be a time-consuming process, but also it can introduce other data integrity issues. There is a prerequisite or requirement that I'm expecting from the viewers to have, and that is a previous experience and familiarity with building SSIS package and having some database object creation experience using TSQL. I'm not going to get into detail on how to create data connection managers and database object creation, but there will be a quick review on that, on those pieces. I'll go a bit slow on some screens so you can take snapshots, and of course you can always go back and review the video again. Okay, let's continue with the last slide that we have, and that is the display of the step-by-step procedures for this particular video. I do have a script, and that script, it creates table and the constraints. I did not add a script for creating a database. That's because simply it is simple. You can't just have a statement such as create database and give it a name. I already have that database created, and it's called sandbox. You guys can call it whatever you wish. There are two text files or CSV files that total number of records in them. It's 5, 2 in one and 3 records in the other one. Yeah, I can show you the file. Here's one of them, has 2 records, and the other one has 3 records. Right now they're in a good, perfect state, so if I run them, there shouldn't be any issues. And the script that I have is as follows in here. So basically I have the scenario here, starting with checking if the table exists, drop it, and then recreate it. And then I have the constraints built up in here. Some of the constraints are not basically used in normal everyday database object creation. For instance, the name, it wouldn't make sense, if you want to not accept any names that comes between Jack and Jorge. I just put it in there just for the sake of the testing process. And you can see the Social Security has a format and requires numbers and dashes and so on and so forth. Also for the Social Security, we have a constraint for uniqueness. So you want to allow having duplicates on that column. And also we do have a format that's the only format that will be accepted. So if the data file has anything but this masking format, then obviously it's going to fail, and that's on purpose, so we can try make it a fail. And of course at the end we're going to clean up after ourselves by dropping the table. So before I drop it, I would like to just show you that the script, the way it works. And you can see some of the information that comes back from the system showing all the constraints that we have created, and they're displayed here. And then on the left side, on the Object Explorer, you can see the columns. And let's refresh that to make sure everything is there. We have the primary key, and speaking of the keys, we have the unique Social Security constraint, and we have other constraints, and we don't have any triggers. Indices, we have 2 of them. We have a cluster and a non-cluster for the uniqueness of Social Security. Obviously statistics are being created. So continuing with our slide in here, so we have 2 text files, and the first one is going to be successful, obviously, because the records are clean. Now there are a couple of pieces that we need to modify in the properties of SSIS package, and that's the integral part of this video. And then after preparing those properties, then I'm going to make some changes to the data file, let's say number 2 file, and then try to rerun and see it fail. We're going to go back, correct the data table, correct the data file, and then rerun the package, and we should not see more than 5 total number of records and tables. So without any further ado, let's continue with that. And here's the SSIS package. Now these two items that you see in here that they're disabled, they are no different than what I have just shown you with the creation of a table. And this one is the script, same script that you saw, and this one creates the constraints. I just put them in there. Some people, they like to have those added into SSIS package. I just did that separately, as you saw, and these two are basically disabled right now. Now there are 2 data flow tasks, and they're identical, with the only difference that each one of them is tackling a different text files. Again, I'm not going to show how these data connection managers were built. That's something that is expected for you guys to know how to. So let's look at the properties that is very important in here. If we look at in here, there are some checkpoints items in here, and for each one of them we would need to have later some association with the checkpoints. So the checkpoint file is going to be whatever you want to call it. It's a type of XML. You place it in a folder and make sure that this one has a proper path to that file. The next step is, for each one of these, then we would like to take a look at the properties on these and look at the failed package on failure. It must be set to true. So once it's set to true, if that package fails at that point, then it will recall and knows how to tackle and how to resume from that point forward. And we do the same thing for this one. So we check the properties and take a look at the failed package on failure set to true. Unfortunately, you can't highlight both and try to see it. It won't show it to you. So you got to do one at a time. So now that we have set these 2 properties, why don't we try to see what happens? The first run is going to be obviously successful. So let's see, true, success. So we're going to switch back to to SQL table and see what happened over there. So let's take a look at the number of records in here. We have 5 records, so that's a success. I'm going to go ahead and truncate the table so we don't have any records in it. And the next step is to go ahead to the file number 2 and make some crazy stuff change. I don't know. We had a salary between $10,000 to $30,000, so let's add another $100,000 for this guy. And we're going to save it and go back to our package. So now, if we rerun this, it will fail because of the violation that occurs. And there is the violation. So if you want more detail, you can take a look at the failed points. Of course, the XML file, you can take a look at that too, as it already exists as a failing point. So you can take a look at that, but basically all that is showing us where that failed. And obviously we should not have at this point more than 2 records in there that came from the file number 1. As you can see, there are 2 records, 1, 2. So what happens next? The next is we have to go and clean up that the file. And here's the file, had extra $100,000 in there, so we're going to take that and save the file and close. We don't want to have that open, obviously. And let's go back to this process. You can either click on the restart here, or you can stop it and continue. Either way would work. and here it is. As you can see, the first process in here has not been re-executed again, and the last piece is successfully completed. Let's take a look at the number of records that we have, see what happened there. As you can see, we got now 5 records. So no duplication, no other issues, and resume from that failing point. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you very much, and have a great day.